I have been encouraged to share my revert story by my close friends. I am a very shy person, so I wasn't sure. But after much thought, I feel it might help someone, and that's all I've ever wanted to accomplish in my life path. So here it goes. I am Mikhail Allen, and I am 21 years old. I come from a little town in Canada. It's not so small now, though. In the eyes of science and doctors, I was not supposed to be here. You see, all the doctors pronounced me dead before I was born to my mother, but she kept the faith and told them that they were not God. So after that, I came early instead, because I would have suffocated in my mother's womb, because the umbilical cord was in 2 double knots. And this was really rare back then, so some doctors asked if they could study it. By now, they have this figured out, maybe, I am not sure. But in the eyes of my family, I am their miracle baby. I come from a Protestant Christian family. My great-grandparents were devoted Christians, and my great-grandmother was an advanced Bible teacher. Growing up, I didn't know much about my faith, only the basics. I never went to church, and I did not have a prayer life or knew the Holy Bible that well. I did, however, go to 3 Christian schools for 11 years and was introduced to a few different dominions. This gave me a lot of confusion for religion and who God was. When I was 11 years old, I decided to spark up the courage to go to church for the first time. I was very excited and needed support. My grandpa was very sick at that time, and my family knew he was going to pass away. God rest his soul. But the youth pastor did not treat me well and told me I was just using God and not to bother coming back to church. And because I was a sensitive child, I never did go back after that happened. I became rebellious very young. I didn't understand why God's house and a Christian would treat me like that. I thought God hated me and didn't want to forgive me for my sins, and I grew self-hatred for who I was. When I was 14, I started self-harming myself and abusing drugs. I was in a really bad mental state, and all I ever wanted was peace and contentment from the abuse I had through as a young child from my father. I felt very alone at such a young age. I didn't have the relationship I wanted with my mother because she herself was very ill, mentally and physically. Side note, I was a DJ or disc jockey for 8 years and was signed to a group in the United Kingdom for 5 years. I wanted fame and the money and to be finally accepted in this world. I wanted to be loved and have someone who cared about me. I considered the label a family. When I turned 19, I started having scary dreams of the end times, and I can still remember what happened in them. To this day, I do not know if it was from God, but all I know is that those dreams made me change my life from the corruption I lived. That's when I started taking Christianity seriously. I knew I needed God, so I went to what I was taught, the Holy Bible. I read that book 6 hours a day for months and treated it like a prayer, and I started attending virtual church services. My heart was starting to heal from the pain and numbness of depression, and then one day it was like magic and I no longer had these pains and numbness. When that happened, I wanted to increase my knowledge in Christianity, and so I joined religious theology courses. I noticed that Islam was one of the subjects you could learn. I did not know what Islam was or a Muslim was at that time. I then met a Muslim one day, and she told me all about it. But some of the things she had said scared me, and so I carried my way with Christianity. But then months went by, and something inside me told me to look into Islam. I then later found out some of the information the sister told me was not accurate. I was kind of relieved and started researching more about the religion. I really wanted to know what a Muslim was before joining the Islamic theology courses. I bought a Quran and then wanted to learn the Islamic prayers. Despite the confusion I had, the first time I prostrated to Allah, I felt the inner peace I was missing. Everything felt right and clicked. So I kept learning Islam and met my best friend through Islam too. So Allah saved me, healed me, then led me to Islam. I then said the Shahada February 5th, 2020, and became a Muslim. I am so grateful that Allah directed me to Islam. I know I still have much to learn, but the beauty is we will never stop learning from Him. Allah will always be teaching us new things which is our sole purpose. As weak, disgusting, and sinful as I am, Allah wanted me, because in His eyes I am strong, I am priceless, and I am forgiven and made new. He loves all His creation and wants what's best for them. He wants them to turn away from their sins and come to Him. Thank you for reading my story. I tried to be honest and detailed as I could, but if you have questions, please contact me.